to Camille's Country Corner. I'm Camille, and today we will be making blackberry cobbler muffins and some sausage and cheddar egg bake. So let's get started. Let me show you the ingredients we'll be using today. And today we will actually be making dinner, but that will be later on. And I'll show you that as we go. Okay, here's all the ingredients you will need. We have flour, sugar, eggs, of course blackberries, and we'll be making a streusel topping. You'll need some oil, some sour cream, or yogurt. I don't hardly ever have yogurt in my house. Baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. That will be for our blackberry cobbler muffins. And then over here, we'll need some hash browns. I went ahead and crisped some up. You don't have to do that. It's just a step I like. And then we will need eggs and some sausage, some garlic, onion powder, salt and pepper, some cheddar, and of course the hash browns, and a cup of milk of your choice. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our streusel topping. In here I have 1/3 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of flour, and you need a 1/4 cup, which is a half a stick of unsalted butter. So let's go ahead and put that in there. And with my pastry blender, which you can use 2 forks, I'm going to go ahead and blend this all together. And you want to make sure that your butter is cold because you want this to slowly melt on top of your muffins when they're baking. And you want this to resemble like pea size. And you want it to feel kind of like sand. It takes a few minutes. All right, now that we've got that all mixed up, let's go ahead and start on our batter. Now in here I have 1 cup of sugar. To this I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/3 cup of oil and my 1/3 cup of sour cream. Like I said, you can use yogurt. I never have that in my house. I just don't care much for it unless it's in a savory dish. All right, we need 2 eggs. You can go ahead and combine all of your wet ingredients. I just do this with a wooden spoon because you don't want to over mix your batter, because then your muffins will turn out tough. Now to the streusel topping, I was supposed to add about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, which I completely forgot. I added it to my other mixture instead, my flour. It'll work, it'll be perfect. All right, to my flour mixture, I have already put in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. We need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and about a half a teaspoon of salt. All right, go ahead and mix that all together. And go ahead and add that to your wet ingredients. This batter will be kind of thick. All right, at this time, I'm gonna use half of my blackberries. I have 2 cups of blackberries here. I'm gonna use about 1 cup now, and I'm gonna go ahead and stir those in. And it's not cooking unless you get it everywhere. All right, let's go ahead and scoop this into our cupcake liners, or you can just use a muffin pan and spray it. But I've got these liners here. I did get these at Amazon. I will put the link below. They are cute. You fill these cups about 3/4 of the way full.
About 1 scoop.
Now that we have everything scooped into our tins, let's go ahead and add our streusel topping. Okay, you just sprinkle about a teaspoon or so on top of each one, or until you run out of streusel. That actually ended up being 2 teaspoons per muffin. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put these in a preheated oven for about 35 minutes. And we'll come back and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, now that it is all done, let's take a look and see what it looks like on the inside. All right, there is the muffin. And here is the egg bake that I did not record because I thought I was recording the whole time. Instead, I was filming me setting everything up, getting ready to cook and show you how to make this. So I will go ahead and include the ingredients and how to make this in the description below. So
ignore what this pretty lady is saying and stick around for this dinner portion of a delicious shrimp and fish vegetable pasta. All right, we'll see you back there for it in just a few moments. Thanks.
This is the dinner portion of our meal today. So let me show you what we have on the menu for tonight. Okay, on the menu for tonight is fish and shrimp. So we have for flounder, a 1/2 pound of shrimp, some salt and pepper, assorted fresh herbs from the garden, that's dill, chives, and fresh basil. And then we have some butter, some lemons, and some olive oil. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, to our 9 by 13, I'm gonna go ahead and add some olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom, a couple tablespoons. All right, and then we're gonna open up the fish. Like I said, I'm using flounder. I change this up all the time. I use a variety of different fish. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add some pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and add my shrimp right to the end here. That way I don't have to use 2 different pans for this. Oh, and I just realized mine still has all the shells on. So let's go ahead and take those off. All right, now we're going to salt and pepper. All right, I've got some fresh dill. We're going to start with that. And I'm just going to cut it up finely. Dill goes fantastic with fish and shrimp. Okay, just go ahead and sprinkle all over the top. All right, I have a few chives here. And then I have some fresh basil that I'm going to put on top of the shrimp. And it actually tastes fantastic on the fish too, but tonight I'm just going to put it on the shrimp. All right, I've got a couple of lemons. I'm just going to put them into slices, cut them into slices. I have the end of a lemon. I'm just going to squeeze it over top, give it a little bit of extra lemon flavor. No sense of wasting the ends of the lemons. All right, then I'm going to take my half a stick of butter, I should say, my quarter cup, and I'm going to put that in, cut that into slices as well, and we're going to put that over top of the fish. And then we're just going to place the lemon slices on top of the fish. I use about 2 lemons, but I like a lot of lemon. All right, there's the dish. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes. Okay, let's start with putting a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon or 2 in our pan. All right, this is for the pasta that I'm making, and I'm going to be doing some angel hair pasta, but you can use any pasta you prefer. Let me get my water going. Add a bunch of salt to your water. It's the only time that you get to season your pasta. Let me put a top on that. In my pasta, I'm going to be putting some onion, some zucchini, a couple of scallions, some kale, some dill, and I've made some pesto that I took out of the freezer. And some onions, or I'm sorry, some mushrooms. That's the proper tool to stir. And I'll leave my mushrooms kind of large. My son doesn't like mushrooms. This is a nice summertime dish. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to reserve some dill for the pasta when it's done. And this is my pesto. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop the pasta. And I probably added about a half a pound. That's for 3 of us, and we like to have some leftovers to take to work. All right, I will show you the finished product as soon as everything comes out. Okay, to the pan, I'm going to add the pasta back in. Okay, I have about 3 tablespoons of butter. I have my pesto. This is probably, let me see, that's about 1 heaping tablespoon and about a teaspoon of pesto. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the dill and the fresh scallions. The heat of the pasta will cook it just a little bit. All right, now I'm going to add the rest of the vegetables. It flies everywhere. I feel so aggressive. Okay, here's the finished meal. Here's the fish with the shrimp. Here's the pasta with all the veggies. I always have some sort of homemade bread, so I went ahead and made some garlic bread, pesto garlic bread. And here is my plate for tonight. I hope you enjoyed watching these recipes, and if you like, please subscribe and click the link below. And thank you for joining us today, and catch you on the next one.